want to talk just a little bit about the Module 2 discussion, and specifically the second activity, which is where I divided you into groups and asked you to take a side, a particular position. I like this activity for a couple reasons. One is that I think you have to develop that skill of presenting your side of an argument, why you think a certain action should occur. And the other part of this activity is also listening to what the other person has to say. And as an administrator, you're going to be in that position more times than you probably want to. That there'll be a couple sides that want an issue to occur, and I've always felt like let the best argument prevail, and let people come in and give you input about what those decisions they think should be, and then eventually you or your administrative team will have to make that decision. I think probably the people who were opposed to giving free public education to illegal immigrants or illegal students probably had the hardest time, because basically in your heart I think you felt like we should be educating everybody, and I guess I would have to agree. So that was difficult to present that argument, although a couple of you really went out and found a good article that did support that position, and some of the thoughts about where the tax dollars go, and so it was somewhat interesting in that respect. You did go back and forth some, and I did appreciate the way that some of you helped the two people who were to summarize and gave them some suggestions and some positive direction to go on with this issue. One of the things that I found that most of you got pretty involved, probably 25% of you did not do what my expectations might be, and that they didn't respond back to people or didn't respond to the other group's final posting, and I think that's one of the things that I think is important, to be able to look at what somebody else has said and analyze what they're saying, and even looking at the kind of research that they're presenting. And a few of you really did a great job of kind of establishing that some of those arguments weren't as valid as the ones you were presenting. Next module will be somewhat like the others. There's going to be three elements. The one element, and I don't want you to spend a ton of time with that, but there's an activity that I use called "If I Were the Czar of Education." In other words, if you had the power to change things, whether it's federally or at the state level or locally, what would you do? And so it just gives you a chance to kind of vent on some things you might want to see happen that's different. But most of you are doing pretty well. A couple haven't participated as well as I'd want, and I want to, it sounds pretty negative, but I guess it's reality, that if you're going to drop a course, it needs to be done by March 11th. So you want to think about that, or give me, if you're somebody who hasn't been posting, you need to contact me.